USCJ? It's your boy Jakeem. Really appreciate what you're doing for USC culture, man. Keep going.
What's going on? Shout out USCJ, man. Appreciate the support. Shout out to USCJ. You know what it is. Nothing but love, man.
Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, happy Monday to everybody. Look, we are moving and grooving toward staying focused, staying locked in. And the question is, can we finish out this schedule, remaining schedule, with a W on each team that we get ready to play? But I want to get into some of the schedule real quick. But I want to talk about real quick USC, which defense will actually show up in the next week when we play Nebraska. This has been a tale of two tapes. It's like we're trying to literally, essentially find our identity, like find out who we are. And it's kind of strange. It's kind of weird. I don't think I've ever seen a team that has the talent like the way we have, and that has so many good athletes that will just play phenomenal one week and essentially just drop off another week. It's mind-boggling. And I'm gonna be honest, man. You know, a lot of people they talk about Jeremiah Love and they talk about the running back price. I think there's some phenomenal running backs, but you're not gonna sit here and tell me that Michigan offensive line or even the Michigan running back unit is that far behind a team like Notre Dame. I just don't believe it. I don't, based on the numbers. Look at what their leading running back, he's leading the country right now, Haynes, 700-something yards rushing. Well, he didn't play yesterday, so now Jeremiah Love, the fact that we gave up 300 yards, Jeremiah Love was, I think, around 500. Jeremiah Love officially passed him just in one game versus USC, which is crazy. But you can't tell me that running back unit as a whole is that far, I don't believe, behind Notre Dame. Notre Dame has some phenomenal running backs. Yes, you could kind of say they're ahead of a Michigan running back group, but I don't think they're necessarily that far behind. And to see a drop-off from hold and contain and to see a drop-off from shooting the gaps in the play on the field, it's just a mind-boggling thing to me. I don't even know. It's just hard to explain. I still believe in, of course, like I said, every player. I think we can still win every game on this schedule, which has put us at 10-2. And I think USC can absolutely do it. Now, the question is, will we do it? The question is, will we see the defense that we know that they could, the defense that we know they could play against Michigan? That team is absolutely phenomenal. Now, I'm not saying everything as a whole was terrible because they did apply pressure to C.J. Carr. We saw a situation where C.J. Carr actually, because he panicked and because the pressure was applied, they actually made him do that. It was because of our defense that did that. Also, I saw DeCarlos Nicholson playing some phenomenal cornerback play. He looked like he was really talking trash. He was going back and forth, and I liked what I saw from DeCarlos Nicholson. So that was a plus. Even Braylon Shelby coming up with the big-time interception, I think he absolutely moved the goal from that perspective as well. But when you look at these PFF numbers, man, I'm just going to talk about them real quick. And we'll get into them, man. These are the PFF numbers that came out. But here it is, man. Linebacker Eric Gentry with the 65.8. Desmond Stevens, 47.5. Jaden Walker was actually the highest rated linebacker on the team. Highest rated linebacker because him and DeCarlos Nicholson were the two highest grades. But he was the highest rated linebacker with a 72.5. Tamir Robertson had a 41.1. DeCarlos Nicholson, a 78.4 PFF grade, which is great. Marcellus Williams with a 56.7. Kamari Ramsey with a 60.2. Bishop Fitzgerald with a 60.4. Christian Pierce with a 69.6. So those are Jakeem Stewart with a 66.5, Kayshawn Silver with a 62.9, Kobe Pepe with a 62.1, Anthony Lucas coming from the edge, 56.8. Then you have Braylon Shelby with the 68.7, Cameron Fountain with the 60.0. Now, Cameron Fountain did have a nice little sack. I recorded that. That was a nice little play. But when you look at the production, and I pulled it up here, let's see if I got it here. When I look at the actual production, those were the PFF grades. But when I look at it, let me pull it up one more time because I had it right here. As a whole, you look at the actual tackles and, man, who did what, and you kind of could see where these guys were going. And I think the biggest thing for a lot of us are trying to wonder, where was the gap integrity at? Where was these guys trying to fill the holes? And I saw a couple times, whether it was the linebacker or maybe even the safety, maybe could have filled the hole. But it looks like the gap integrity was just not all the way there. But when you look at the tackles here, Desmond Stevens did lead the team with 10 tackles. Bishop Fitzgerald second with 10 tackles. Christian Pierce third, 8, and then Eric Gentry 7. Kamari Ramsey has 7. DeCarlos Nicholson 6. And then Anthony Lucas for 5, Marcellus Williams 5, Braylon Shelby 3, Jaden Walker 3, Cameron Fountain 2, Kayshawn Silver 2, Jakeem Stewart 2, Makai Lemon 1. Makai Lemon 1. I just saw that on the. I'm not sure how that's even on there. But Devin Tompkins is 1. Isaiah Rubin's, maybe that's special. I don't know. Isaiah Rubin 1. Walker Lyons 1, and then Jadi Abasari, he had 1 tackle. So we had a total of 75 total tackles for this game. But USC, we know that they are a much, much better team than what we saw. And I'm going to say the same thing I said versus Illinois. I know that they're a much better team than what we saw at Illinois. And then, coincidentally, they came back and did what they did versus Michigan. So there were a lot of people that would hit me up about this game, man. Overall, the defensive performance. So, look, man, I talked about the offense. I talked about Lincoln Riley, really being consistent from the offensive side. I believe that he's going to come back and do that. Look, I don't believe the season is over, man. Like, for you guys that actually think the season is over, the season is not over. Like, we're 4-2 right now. USC still look at the schedule, and this is what I wanted to talk to you about as well. The rest of the schedule looks like this. We got Nebraska next, of course. That's a very winnable game. They just lost against Minnesota, and so USC has an opportunity. Northwestern to be after that at home, and then Iowa at home. We always feel comfortable at home, so I really feel like those 2 games at home, those are going to be some W's. Even Nebraska, you can kind of pencil that up as a W. And I think Iowa's going to be a W. Yes, Iowa's going to come with the full court press as far as from a physicality standpoint. But at the end of the day, I think USC is going to get that game at home. The challenge is going to be the Oregon game. So right now we're 4-6. So you got 5-6, 6-6 after Northwestern. 7-6 is going to be after. Did I say 7? I said 7-6. 7-2 is going to be after Iowa. So you're going to have, and then you're going to have Oregon. So Oregon, if we win that game, we can go 8-2. Period. And I think that USC has an opportunity, depending on how we play these next few games. And then you have the UCLA game, which is going to be more challenging than I think a lot of people even realize. The way Nico's playing, like that team has officially woke up. I don't know how they woke up, but they woke up and they look like they're playing physical ball. They look like they're playing some serious ball. And at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be a given anymore. And I know some people might be laughing at that, but I'm dead serious about that. Just watching the way Nico has been playing. So look, you guys who dropped the comment, man. The question I posed to you guys today: which USC football defense, will we actually see? And there were a lot of people that said, Jay, did you see what Miller Moss did? Absolutely. You guys always know I show receipts just to kind of show you compare and contrast. And I told you guys on my live, those who hadn't seen it, salute to Miller Moss for beating the number 2 team in the country. So a lot of people, do you compare Miller Moss to Jaden Maiava? I don't think so, and I'm going to show you guys why. Here's the numbers right here. The fact that the question was asked, I'm going to have to come with receipts. A salute to Miller Moss. I think he's doing a great job, but I think he's just, more so managing the team, which is great. It's a good thing. And I think the style of football that Louisville team, you guys know, that they play, it really fits him. The quick slants, the quick passes, not really going down the field a whole lot, and I think it fits who he is. And I think they're doing a phenomenal job. But you see the 1,606 yards, 9 TDs, 4 INTs with the 68.6, which ranks 45th in the country. Whereas you got a guy like Jaden Maiava right now with the 2,180 yards, 15 TDs, 4 INTs, and has a QBR of 92.1. Which ranks first in the country. So right now, you can kind of compare and contrast. You guys can see for yourself. That's just for those who ask me about it. But you guys can see it for yourself. But look, man, I'm out of here. Which defense are we going to actually get for this USC football team coming up against Nebraska? I think it'll be a good one. I think it'll be a team. I think Dylan Raiola, and we'll get into this game more. I think Dylan Raiola is a quarterback that if you get under pressure, he's going to have some serious problems. So they have some offensive line problems as well. I'm out of here, man. Happy Monday to everybody. Till later on. Everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.